right, welcome to Andrew trying to use the internet. These are lessons from the couch here. So this is like my 40th try to film something because the lighting wasn't just right, or the room was too weird, or I was too weird. And so anyway, this is me trying to just kind of connect with you guys without like doing like the selfie pose. Like some pastors are like setting it on their desk and it's like looking up their nose and stuff like that. So anyway, so I just wanted to touch base with all my teens who I miss desperately. It is driving me crazy because I'm a straight up extrovert and people fill me. People bring me energy even though it is draining. And I absolutely love playing with you guys and doing games and eating and being ridiculous and stuff like that and hearing all your crazy stories. And so I just want you guys to know that I miss you. And this is gonna blow over. Just watch. But I'm sure you all have been going through a lot. I've been going through stuff. Everybody's going through stuff. And I wanted to express that. And it's funny that I've practiced this so many different times and I still sometimes am at a loss for words to really, what do you guys need to hear? And so I stopped and I just prayed. What would I want to hear right now? You know, what would I not like to hear? I would like to not hear what's on the news right now again. I would like to not hear a whole bunch of stuff that's going on in the world. But instead I focused on what am I feeling? What am I going through? And one of the biggest things that I go through when this sort of stuff happens, because it happens all the time, right? Or maybe just when I had like shoulder surgery and I felt super cooped up and stuff like that, I get kind of lonely. And even though my family's around and stuff like that, I feel super isolated. I feel super alone. And that's kind of a frustrating feeling for me. One of my favorite things about the Bible is that it seems like no matter what I'm going through, even though this particular scenario has not happened before, the Bible still talks about things that we can go through in just about any scenario. And as I prayed about it, I was like, you know, I'm going through a lot of isolation, and let's look and see what the Bible has to say about isolation. And interestingly enough, right at the beginning of the Bible, when God created Adam, he looked at Adam and he's like, you know what? It's not good for this guy to be alone. You know, they start getting crazy. They start doing weird things like shaving their beard off so that they can have their apocalypse beard grow out. And when this quarantine is finally done, maybe I'll decide to trim it or whatever. But you know, it's just not good to be alone. Isolation is only good if you are spending time with God himself. It's only good to get you away from things sometimes to refocus your relationship with God. But isolation out of habit, oh, I just touched my face. Isolation out of habit is bad. It's unhealthy for the average extrovert like me. And one of the things that I started to think is like, you know what? I got to get out of this isolation. I've got to get away from this place. I'm gonna get motivated. I'm gonna work out. I'm gonna download TikTok. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel. I'm gonna try to figure out, no matter what, how to tell people about Jesus. Even though I get to talk to my kids about Jesus every day, and I get to talk to my wife. Oh, I just touched my face again. And so I mean, my family's super open about God, but there are people that need community. I need it. And I felt super isolated in everything that's been going on. And so I look at the Bible and I turn to 2 Samuel chapter 11. It's about a guy named David. Now, David started out as a shepherd boy and he became this amazing warrior, and then God anointed him to be king, and then he eventually becomes king. And so he's this warrior king, and I picture this dude with this massive beard and muscles and weapons, and he just leads his men into battle. He doesn't just send them into battle, but 2 Samuel 11 starts a little bit different, and it says that in the spring, interesting, we're in the springtime. All right, I can roll with this. When kings go off to war, David sent Joab and the entire army to fight basically for him, for Israel, but without him. And I sat there and I looked at that and I was like, man, David just isolated himself. Maybe because he was trying to be a king, maybe because he was trying to be a stronger leader from like the home front or something. But honestly, if I was one of those warriors and I had gotten used to fighting behind David, beside David, in front of David, didn't matter. I would have been a little weirded out that he wasn't coming with me. Especially if I was around when David killed a giant. I would want that guy with me all the time. David stayed home. David sends everybody out, looks out his window, sees a girl bathing there. Not his wife. Actually, not just a girl, it's someone else's wife. Doesn't look away. Sends his servants to call for her while her husband is away at the war that he just sent men out to fight. He calls for her, has his way with her, and a bunch of crap hits the fan after that. David, in his isolation, opened himself up in weakness, opened himself up for disaster. So what does that have to do with us? We've all kind of been isolated right now. Sometimes we might feel like we're isolated with all the wrong people, and I don't know what to do with that. Well, this is what you do. When the isolation hits hard, you fight. When your parents are struggling with stress or finances or work or whatever is going on or getting along, you fight through it. Fight for something, not with the isolation, but fight for the solution. The solution when your parents are stressed out is like, hey, can I pray for you? Can we pray for peace right now? Because we are obviously struggling. Hey, can I pray for you guys to sleep good tonight? Because when your parents are super stressed out, believe it or not, they don't sleep that good, even though it seems like they might sleep a lot. Hey, maybe we should pray as a family right now. Maybe we should pray that, hey, God, help this food to make us strong, because food is scary right now, Everybody starts panicking, and the voices in our head when we're isolated tell us to do crazy things, like buy all the toilet paper, buy all the Spam, buy all the canned beans. When you get isolated with people that have eaten nothing but canned beans and Spam, it's gonna get crazy, okay? And so I want to encourage you guys, in this isolation, lead your families. Do better than David did. Do what you're supposed to do. Lead your family towards God. Some of you who are watching this video right now, if anybody watches this video, some of you are the only source of exposure to God in your entire family. Some of you that are watching this video right now have never once set foot on the battlefield in front of your family with your faith. I want to encourage you guys. Do something. Pray. Fight. Share. Talk about it. Text your friends and encourage them. Tell your parents it's going to be okay. Be the one that brings stability through fighting the isolation. And that will lead your family towards God. Everything that happens to us is designed to point us back to God. Let's do it. See you guys next time.